more of our attendees. Thank you, thank you. This is our third masterclass for today. And get ready because there's so much more learnings and insights in store for all of us today. All right, without any further ado, let me introduce to you our speaker for this afternoon. Our speaker for this afternoon is a priest of Don Bosco and a professor of theology at the Don Bosco School of Theology and 3 other schools. On a lighter note, our speaker is a father who has been praying for a long time to reduce weight, but has only been surrendering this prayer to the Lord. Now, Feast Conference, with love in our hearts and smiles on our faces, let's give a warm welcome to Father Francis Gustilo, SDB.
Thank you. Thank you, Shirley. Sabi ko sa akin, Shirley ka daw eh. Akala ko Shirley ka eh. Magandang hapon po. Pwede po ba magtagalog? Ayun. Kala ko hanggang English lang eh. So galing na po tayo sa mga depressed. Tama po ba? Ako po yung the priest. Pwede ba yun? Totoo yun, no? Sabi niya, matagal na ako nagdadasal na mag-diet, pumayat. Di ba? Nag-surrender na ako. Kasi masarap, di ba, pinsan ang pagkain. Di ba, pinsan tayo? Magkasin kami yan. Magkasin taba kami. Okay, masyado tumawa. Malapit-lapit na kayo maging kasin ko din. So, mga kapatid, nakatuwa po na makasama nyo dito sa ating Feast Conference sa masterclass na to. Hindi ko alam kung master ko to. Anyway, simulan natin dito sa... Ang laki nun Sino ba yan? Huwag na. PowerPoint ko na lang. Ha? Okay ba? Mas maganda kung PowerPoint ko eh. Yun. Tingnan nyo na lang ako, pero doon lumalaki ako eh. Kaya nga ako nag-itim eh, para hindi na makita eh. Okay. Ito yung title natin, When Do We Stop Praying and Start Surrendering? Yan. Sino po ang lampas ng 50 anyos? Ayan. Dami. Kaya pala dito kayo eh, no ha? Kanina, daming bata eh. Ngayon, malapit na kayo. Ilang taon na lang po bago kayo makipag-meeting sa Panginoon? Yan, konti na lang. Bless the Lord tayo dyan. Ako po'y 71 na rin. Malapit-lapit na po. Di ba? When do we stop praying and start surrendering? One way of praying, ito yun. Si Allah, Wakbar. Allah is great. At nakakatuwa po, I surrender. I submit. Di ba nakakatuwa yan? Isang paraan ng panalangin yan. Huwag niyo isipin ng mga Muslim, walang relihiyon o walang relasyon sa Diyos. Nakakatuwa nga eh. Sino sa inyo ang maninikluhod, aabot ang noo sa lupa para sabihin, ikaw talaga. Ikaw ang maluwalhati, makapangyarihan, at ako'y wala. Ganyan na isang uri ng panalangin. So, punta tayo dito. Huwag kayong magtataka, pari ako. Lahat na aking photos, babae. Di ba? Bakit? Kasi tayong lahat, meron tayong feminine side. Ang ating feminine side, yun yung mapagbukas at marunong maging gawas na bukas. Ang tawag dyan, anima. Hindi animal, anima. Dinadagdagan niyo po eh. Okay. Ulitin niyo. Animal. Animal? Manila po yan eh. Animus. Ito po, isip. Anima. Kabuuan ng damdamin. Iba po yung iniisip at nadadama. Dito po nakalagay ang panalangin. Nasa ating puso, sa ating anima. Ang tanong natin ay, kailan ka ba nananalangin? Ba't ka napapikit? Kailan ba kayo nagdarasal? Lahat ng oras, pati ngayon. Wow. Pray without ceasing. Ano kaya ibig sabihin nun? Walang pagdigil, in-English mo lang. Ay, tinagalog mo. Pray without ceasing, ano ibig sabihin nun? Walang patid, araw-araw, oras-oras. Patotoo kayo. Ano ang pinagdadasal niyo araw-araw? Ano? Jowa? Ay, hindi ikaw. Iba tingin ko, ano ba ako, banlag ba ako dito? Sa likod mo na. Nakaw, namumula. Jowa? Hindi. Okay. Ito mas mahalaga eh. Ano pinapanalangin mo? Bakit? Bakit yun ang hinahanap mong maibigay sa'yo? Para natin malaman, kailan ba dapat tayo tumigil sa pananalangin ng ano at ng kailan? Kasi hindi naman pala makabuluhan. Baka naman meron tayong dinadalangin, wala naman palang why. Wala naman palang dahilan. Good to have, nice to have. Pero actually, hindi naman dapat natin palaging yun na lang ang inilalapit natin sa Panginoon. Kaya tuloy, naghihintay tayo. Sa ating pananalangin, sa ating hinihiling, nais nating matanggap, makuha, maibigay ng Diyos. Naghihintay tayo. Alam niyo ba? Pangalawa na yan. 3 pa yan. At sabi, wait some more. Di ba? Minsan ang tagal yata ng sagot ng Diyos. Sabi nila iba, kapag no, kasi may plano. Di ba? Baka iba. Iba. So, naghahanap ka pa rin ba ng jowa? Baka iba na. Yan. Gusto ba magmadre? Pag brown, madre de cacao. Pero pag hindi mo alam anong klaseng madre, ang tawag doon, none of the above. Then you are plunged in the nowhere. Hindi mo na alam, nasa na ba ako sa lahat ng dasal na ito? Nowhere. Kaya nga siguro, pinili ko to kasi from the darkness ang pangalan ng mga t-shirt nyo eh. Kaya ang iba, hindi bumibili. Kasi lahat galing sa kadiliman. Ha? Plunge into the darkness, you don't know where. Nasaan na nga ba ang Diyos? Sa tagal-tagal kong dumadalangin, napapakinggan pa ba ako? Minsan ang iba, nakalimot na yata ang Diyos. Miss Jowa, nakalimot na ba ang Diyos? Di ba? Saan nga ba? Where? Where? Alam niyo may sagot. Ano sagot? Here. Galing. Light of the world. Galing. Here. Yung hinahanap mo doon. Kung saan-saan. Pinapapunta ka pala sa napakalayo, ngunit nasa loob. Bakit? Nasaan ba ang Diyos? Pag sinabi niyang here, I am. I am here. Emmanuel, God with us. God in you. So sa ating paghahanap, sa ating ewan ko, ano ating paghihirap na may makuha, naando na pala. Naando na pala. Kaya gusto niya, magdasal ka. Kahit minsan, iba ang iyong hinahanap at hindi pala siya. Pero gusto niya, sige, we make a pilgrimage, a journey. Lumalim tayo, sumisid ka, at ikaw ay magbalik loob. Sa loob mo, kilalanin mo, I am here. Not only with you, I am here for you. Hindi mo ko kalaban, hindi kita kaaway. Akin ka. Kamatakot. Akin ka. I am here. So, salamat. Tapos na po ako. Shirley, pass the mic. Punta tayo sa good friend ko, ang mag-asawang George and Chi Bocobo, kasi meron silang Sancho. Okay? Meron ba siyang microphone? Tutulungan ba kayo? May lapel na si Sancho. So, please, camera, focus dito sa mataba. Upo na lang muna ako.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Ilan taon ka na, Sancho?
Hi, Father. I am 15 po.
15. Kailan ka pa, when were you starting not able to walk?
So, at a very young age, I was diagnosed with a condition called spinal muscular atrophy type 2.
Okay na. So, natatakot ng nanay. Clicker. Start. Ako na ba? Oh. Okay na? Can you click it?
Boom.
Yes. Next one. Try, next one. Next. Dito ka na, Chi. Maganda naman siya eh. At saka, kalahati ko. Mami ni Sancho, si Chi Bocobo.
Good afternoon po. Thank you po for having us.
Sancho. start.
Oh, okay, sorry. So, I was diagnosed with a condition called spinal muscular atrophy type 2. And I'll just give a brief background on this. So, spinal muscular atrophy is a rare genetic disorder that causes muscle weakness due to defective neurons in the spinal cord. While my condition isn't severe as SMA type 1, which can impair a child's ability to breathe and swallow, it has shaped most of my life. So, our family, we've prayed constantly for breakthroughs. So I've went through countless therapies over the years. But in December 2016, when I was 7 years old, we received news that changed everything. The FDA had just approved a drug called Spinraza. And it was the first treatment for spinal muscular atrophy that could slow disease progressions. But this treatment came with an astronomical cost, around 45 million pesos for the first year and 20 million annually after that. It was just out of reach for us. 4 years later, in 2020, a new miracle happened because a new SMA treatment called Everest-D was approved, offering hopes to patients of all ages. A compassionate doctor who had been following my story on social media informed us about a program by Roche Philippines that provided the drug Everest-D completely for free. We applied, and just before my 12th birthday, in November 2021, we received another miracle. I was chosen for one of only 2 slots in the Philippines. So this new treatment was an even bigger blessing. Unlike Spinraza, which required painful spinal injections, Everest-D is an oral medication. So I've been receiving it since, and I've seen firsthand that God's timing is truly perfect. And Romans 12:12 became a guiding verse for our family. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. So, yeah, that was just one of our many miracles. But after receiving this, life with my condition wasn't without any challenges. My spine began curving severely, causing pain, breathing difficulties, and trouble eating. I remember waking up with asthma, headaches, and pain so intense that sometimes I just couldn't resist but cry during my physical therapy sessions. The progression of my curvature was really inevitable due to the nature of my disease, and it became clear that I would need spinal surgery. But even years ago, when the idea of spinal surgery was first brought up to us, I wasn't scared, and I was really confused why I didn't feel fear during this time when the doctor brought it up to us. But little did I know that even before any of it happened, I had already surrendered everything to the Lord. So fast forward a little. One day in late March of 2023, we found ourselves in the emergency room as I exhibited symptoms of pneumonia. Though the timings felt strange and uncertain as we were preparing for my surgery, my mom reminded me to trust in the Lord's plan. She believed that there was a divine purpose behind my admission to the hospital. And even if it wasn't clear at the time. So curiously, I tested negative for COVID, pneumonia, or any respiratory complications. Instead of despair, we came to see how God was working through what seemed like a bad situation. That hospital confinement turned into an unexpected blessing. At that point, my parents were deeply anxious about the condition of my heart, lungs, and digestive muscles, all strained by my severe spinal curvature. Without that admission, the doctors wouldn't have been prompted to hold an immediate medical conference or run the necessary tests to determine if I was ready and primed for my surgery. In His mercy, the Lord really allowed all the tests to yield favorable results. Looking back, it's clear that we needed to be there to find peace, reassurance, and to take a step closer to the miracle that we had been praying for so long. But the costs for this surgery, just like the Spinraza medication I mentioned before, were also overwhelming. It was about $1.5 million. Wow. In the US. Not even including travel and living expenses for the months that we'd have to stay there. We started brainstorming all these fundraising events, and we really felt the weight of the challenge ahead because we didn't really know what to do at that time. But my dad reminded us to keep faith. He remembered a verse that we've lived by pretty much our entire lives, which is Psalms 46, verse 10. Be still and know I am God. And then, in the most unexpected way, the Lord yet again answered all of our prayers. So one of my mother's friends mentioned Shriners Children's Hospital, a facility that provides care to children, regardless of their financial situation. We reached out and sent them my medical records, hoping that they'd consider my case. The months of waiting were filled with uncertainty, but in August 2023, our prayers were answered yet again in the most extraordinary way, because Shriners Children's Hospital had accepted my case, and it was completely free of charge. So the wait may have been considerably long, 4 years since we initially considered my spinal surgery, and about 9 months since we first reached out to the hospital. But when it was God's perfect time, it took us only 2 weeks to pack up, prepare our documents, and just go and see His plans unfold for us. Okay, so by January 2024, fast forward again, we were in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the peak of winter time, preparing for my first procedure, which is called halo traction. It was a grueling process to slowly stretch my spine using weights to prepare my body for the spinal fusion, as my spine had grown stiff and what's known as rigid at that time. It was incredibly painful, both physically and emotionally. I remember being fed through a tube in my nose, and I cried through much of it. But I clung to my faith. I held a cross in my hand, and I repeated the words that Jesus said during His passion. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. And during moments where everything felt overwhelming, my mom found herself drawn to the example of our Blessed Mother. In her deepest sorrows, Mary quietly endured, patiently trusting in God's will and pondering His goodness, even in the face of her son's suffering. This unwavering faith became a source of strength for my mom, reminding her to hold on even when things seemed uncertain. The outpouring of prayers surrounding our journey was nothing but miraculous. Everyday messages of encouragement, assurances of prayers poured in, renewing our strength. It felt like a prayer revolution. Family, friends, prayer communities, priests, nuns, and even strangers from different parts of the world united in love and support for us. Their words and prayers carried us through each moment, reminding us that we were never alone in this journey. Through all of this, I learned to unite my suffering with Christ's. I offered my pain for the souls in purgatory and those who had no one to pray for them. We asked for a priest. We even asked for a priest who could give me the sacrament of anointing of the sick before my surgeries. And the Lord provided us with Father Andrew, a Filipino priest from the nearby Our Lady of Hope parish. Not only did he offer masses for me, but he also went out of his way to bring Filipino dishes to the hospital because he could only get so far by eating American food. Yeah, it made it feel a lot more like home. And the Lord blessed us with a skillful and compassionate medical team, a talented orthopedic spine surgeon, a neurosurgeon, and an intensivist experienced with my condition, spinal muscular atrophy. Their expertise and care gave us reassurance once again and comfort during such a critical time. At this time, to prepare me for my surgeries as well, I went through an MRI scan where I had to lie completely still for over 2 hours. Through all the pain and discomfort, I did my best to keep faith, and God did the rest. By God's mercy, my time in Halo Traction was cut from 8 to 10 weeks to only 5 weeks. And right before the main spinal fusion surgery, I remember having this conversation with my mom where the Holy Spirit spoke through me. I told her that there was no reason to be scared. I reminded her that I had already surrendered everything a long time ago. No matter the outcome, I could rest easy knowing that God had set His plans for me. And I told her that I was invincible in the Lord's hands. I told her to be like Abraham, to put all her faith in God, and to give up the custody of her son, even for a short while, so God could do His work. In short, I told her to surrender. Then came the main event, my spinal fusion surgery, which basically meant metal rods were fused to my spine to straighten it. And it was, frankly, is the hardest thing I've ever endured. Recovery in the ICU was excruciating, and there were moments where I really wanted to question God. But in my heart, I knew this was all part of His plan, because really, what wasn't part of His plan? And another miracle, I was off the ventilator, and I was breathing on my own the very next day after the surgery. And it really amazed my doctors. By God's grace, my recovery was way faster than expected. And in less than 1 week, I was out of the hospital. My life had changed dramatically. I could breathe better, I could eat with ease, and I could sit more comfortably. I'll never forget the first words that came out of my mouth after I was extubated. I told my mom, "Mom, I can breathe." Looking back at it now, words cannot fully capture how God meticulously took care of everything, down to the last minute detail. Before we left, He ensured that we had more than enough in our miracle fund through the incredible generosity of people who shared their resources with us. The support we received was more than sufficient to sustain us for over 3 months in the US. And every day felt like a gift, a privilege to witness Christ's face in the care that was given to me. Every day brought a new blessing to marvel at. The kindness of strangers, an extra phone sent to us for our use in the US, food deliveries, clothes, and many thoughtful gifts from former community members. old friends we hadn't seen in years, and even from my kind nurses. One particular mother, whose child is now an adult living with spinal muscular atrophy, became our angel. She sent us things she knew we would need and checked in on us almost daily. Her family had walked the same path that we were on, and her support meant the entire world to us. And the blessings didn't stop there, believe it or not. Shriners gave me a brand new power wheelchair, this one right here. Cool, right? This is basically like the Porsche of wheelchairs. Oh my goodness. And it costs probably as much as one. But God's grace, we got it completely for free again. Oh my goodness. And after my recovery, I got to explore my dream destinations with my family, like New York City, Washington, D.C., San Francisco. It was just really fun. It felt like a bonus gift from the Lord. And as I reflect on everything now, our family is really truly reminded of God's greatness. He is able to do far more than we can ever ask for or imagine. Ephesians 3 verse 20. He truly exceeded our expectations, and we stand in awe of His provision. I've learned that surrendering to God doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that He is the author of my life. Even when the path seems impossible, His plans are always perfect. Even when we surrender, we find that no obstacle is too great, no trial too hard, and no outcome so hopeless. So looking back one more time, one verse stands out to me, which is Hebrews 6 verse 19. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. During my time in Halo Traction, I realized that what held me up wasn't the weights, wasn't the hook, wasn't the medal, but what held me up during that tough time was really my hope in Christ and my faith in God. So, I stand here today as living proof of God's faithfulness. I'm thriving and I'm able to go to school, I sing in a band, I eat my favorite foods, and I enjoy time with my family and friends. Every day is a reminder that God's plans are far greater than we can ever imagine. And I encourage every single one of you to wake up each day knowing that He has His own special plan planned out for each and every one of you, my friends. So trust Him, and you'll find out that when you're anchored in hope, in faith, and when you surrender, all of you are truly invincible. So thank you so much.
Would you like to pitch in for what is the SMA advocacy you have?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. About a year ago, bonus lang to. About a year ago, my mom and I decided to create our own organization surrounding my condition, because here in the Philippines, many young kids and even adults with my condition are left untreated and even undiagnosed. So our organization is called Stand for SMA PH.
Can you post that, please?
There we go. Stand for SMA PH. And we're fairly young, and we're trying to, just raise awareness surrounding my condition, so that maybe we can bless other kids with my condition, so that, share the blessings. So please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's Stand for SMA PH. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much.
I'd like to have some word from George sa daddy. Siyempre, anak mong lalaki to. Ano ang naramdaman mo nung na-diagnose siya at the very young age, nearly just 2 years old, na yung anak mo, ganyan ang condition? Come here, dito.
Hirap yata. Parang naiiyak na ako, Father.
It's okay.
Kasi yung ano niya, preview. But yeah, at that age, 2 years old, especially yung condition niya was really complicated. Siyempre, saan tayo tatakbo kundi sa Google? 'Di ba? Sa Google, pagka nung tinitingnan ko yung condition niya, talagang very parang dire na wala nang hope, wala nang pag-asa dahil nakalagay doon pag binasa mo, SMA is the #1 infant killer na parang 1 year or 2 years old lang yung life expectancy pag binasa mo sa Google. But syempre, yung plano ni Lord ay iba. 15 years old na si Sancho. He just actually turned 15. And through that journey, makita mo talaga si Lord Father dun sa... kasi syempre, ang daming uncertainties. Yung mga times na na-hospitalize siya, you just... as a parent, hindi ang hirap talaga nun. Especially nakita mo yung anak mo na nasa hospital. But through those years, I mean, we're also in a Catholic community with prayers then. And of course, yung faith din and surrender kay Lord. Matagal na ako nag-surrender. Even yung mga times na naghahanap kami nung treatment, nung operation niya, even dun sa operation, seeing Sancho suffer in pain was really heartbreaking. And wala ka na talagang magagawa, Father, but to really surrender. And yun nga, like Abraham kay Isaac, offer Sancho to him. Kasi Sancho really belongs to the Lord. And kami ni Chiargy just really stewards. So,
Ikaw, Chi, kasi mas mature itong anak niya kaysa sa nanay eh.
sa
Di ba,
amin,
Chi?
sa amin dalawa.
Halika, Chi.
Sa amin.
Di ba, alalang-alala ka na sa kanyang... Kasi, tama ba na naintindihan ko na babaakin yung kanyang likod?
Opo.
Hahatiin?
Opo. So, yung first part of his surgery, as he was explaining, they drilled a halo around his head. So they drilled into his skull. So there were 6 screws in his skull. And it's something that I cannot talaga fathom. And then, naka-attach po yun sa isang
Traction.
pulley at dinadagdagan po yung weights. Every day, dinadagdagan po yung weights so that yung spine niya ma-stretch at ma-prepare for surgery. So kahit po tulog, so it was really excruciatingly painful for him and it was so difficult for us to watch him. And yung second part, once na-prep na po yung spine niya, which was a miracle really because it was cut into half. So 5 weeks na lang instead of 10. The second part was to fuse his spine. So from his nape all the way to his tailbone, ganun po kahaba yung
Putol.
incision, opo. And it was a 8 to 12 hour surgery to put the screws to fuse his spine. So talagang it's something that any mother would not be able to take, di ba? Ang hirap po.
Because permanent yung muscular atrophy. Eh.
Yeah.
Yung kanyang muscles ng hina na. And it cannot hold, yung ating muscles po, no? Can hold our skeleton eh. But if the muscles atrophy from 2 years old, just imagine. Diba? It's nearly, we could say, another miracle para makapaglakad pa ba si Sancho?
Siguro, through miracles, anything is possible. But hindi na, medically, hindi siya talaga makapag...
Is
And
that
yung
possible?
treatment na binigay sa kanya, it's not really a cure. It's just it's a treatment na para hindi na kasi progressive yung sickness niya eh. So it's just really to stop yung progression. So again, no, alam naman namin na we'll still face challenges, but yung pinagdaanan namin noong January, parang sa sobrang bigat at alam na namin na the Lord is really always taking care of us. So, yun na.
Fusing the spine would mean that Sancho can never bend like this. Kasi ganyan na yan eh. Diretso na. Pero now, he's breathing
And eating.
and eating.
Before po, he's compromised yung mga organs po niya because she was really too bent.
Oh, nakita niyo naman yung diferensya, di ba?
Po.
And so, you could say, ano bang pinagdadasal nyo? Just imagine tayong lahat, oh. Si George mismo at saka si Chi. Ako may pagka-abnormal kasi para daw ako refrigerator. Anyway, tinanggap ko na to. At magpapakremate na lang po ako. Kasi ang diferensya pala pag kinremate ako, pareho rin yung abo, 2 dakot lang, 2 kamay lang. Pero mas marami akong oil. Di ba? Kaganda naman. Pero, just imagine, no? This has been now more than practically nearly 13 years journey. Pero nung kanilang nabulaga sila, he was only less than 2. That they realized that there is something happening to their child, di ba? And I don't know, ang buhay niyo ba will stop? Or like this couple, di ba? Paniwala, pananampalataya. Let's give them a big hand before I conclude. Thank you. Hindi po naman masama. Pero ba dito taga-Taguig? Ayan, for congressman na ito. At pinapangako niya sa Panginoon, aayusin niya ang kongreso. So lumipat kayo lahat sa Taguig. Sige. Ang kanyang ibibigay sa mga botante, buko-bo. Buko-bo di buko daw, ice buko. Mga kapatid, kababayan natin yan, hindi yan si Carlo Acutis. Di ba? Kabahagi natin sa buhay. Nung sinabi sa atin, I am here, totoo, na kay Sancho, at na kay George, na kay Chi, at lalo na siguro sa kanilang kapamilya, kanilang kapatid, pinsan ni Sancho, kamag-anakan, community ng ligaya ng Panginoon. Andun ang Diyos at sabi nga nila, di nila alam from nowhere, even strangers came out. Kasi sa loob natin alam natin, kapwa natin to. Tao tayo, tao siya. Kapwa tao natin to. Pambihira, pag wala kang pakiramdam doon, hindi ka tao. Ang Diyos, naging tao. Kaya siguro maganda sa panalangin, lumawak ang paningin. Huwag lang palagi nakatingin sa sarili, ang makilala mo na bago ka pa magdasal, dumating ang umaga, isa na namang araw. Every gising is a blessing. Pero could you imagine, could Sancho say that? When it was all painful the whole night? But he still hoped. The pain might not be going away. This is not a permanent cure. But he wants to live for a purpose. One of which, to be a witness of faith. Marami tayong paraan para nagdadasal tayo, pikit mata, charismatic, praising. At ito maganda. kamukha ng ginamit ni Sancho, nagsalita ng Diyos eh. Sige naman, basa naman tayo. At kasama ng mahal na Birhen, iyang ating Biblia, sa loob ng 20 mysteries, ng mysteries of joy, of light, of sorrow, and of glory, ng ating Santo Rosario, na andyan ang kabuuan ng ating Ebanghelyo. Ang panalangin, hindi lang palagi sa Biblia. Ang panalangin pwede sa mga taong hindi marunong magbasa. Ang Santo Rosario, ang statwa, ang kapwang naghihikahos. At makikita mo, bakit kaya niya? At makita mo rin, ang caregiver, nag-aalaga, ang mga magulang, kamukha nila Chia at saka George, bakit kaya nila? At nagsasalita ang Diyos na, bakit? Kaya mo din? So itong ating surrender, kaiba ng mga Muslim, ay bukas palad lang. Just open your empty hands. Because we are actually empty eh. Wala naman tayong masasabing atin, bit-bit natin. Madalas ba kayong pag-offertoryo na kayo ba'y kumakanta dito sa feast ng Take and Receive, O Lord? Kantahin nga natin. Take and receive, O Lord, my liberty. Take all my will, my mind, my memory, all things I own, art thine, thine was away to me. I owe this do thou and govern all and sway at thy wish, command, and I obey. Only thy grace, thy love on me bestow. Yes. Rich all else. Alam niyo inyong kinantat dasal? Alzheimer. Take my memory, my mind. Gusto ng bankruptcy? All I own, all I hold. Bakit? Siguro sa tagal-tagal ng panalangin, pumasok kayo sa kaloob-looban at na-realize nyo sa pagbabalik loob, lahat naman kanyang kaloob. Dahil dito, sa act of surrender, ang ating modelo ay mismong anak niya na nag-agonize sa garden. Kasi merong sinabi sa kanyang demonyo. Yan ang kanyang senaryo sa The Passion of the Christ ni Mel Gibson. Sabi ng demonyo kay Jesucristo, hindi makakaya ng sino mang tao kanyang balikatin, kanyang paghirapan, ang kasalanan ng buong mundo, hindi kaya yan ng sino mang tao. At totoo eh. Totoo, sinasabi ng demonyo. Hindi siya nagsisinungaling. Kahit sino mang tao, hindi niya mababalikat ang lahat ng pagkakasala ng kanyang kapwa-tao. Pumasok siya sa kanyang sarili. Tinakpan niya siguro ang tenga niya sa sabi ng demonyo at sa loob niya, nanalig siya sa Diyos. At anong sabi ng Diyos? Kanyang ama, anak, hindi mo kaya, pero kaya natin dalawa. Bakit? Hindi ka naman nag-iisa. Kasama mo ako. Hindi mo lang siguro ako nahahalata. Pero magkasama tayo. Hindi mo kaya. Pero kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan, sabi ni Sancho. Nung sinabi niya sa nanay niya, Ma, pwede ba? Takot na takot siya, babaakin yung buong likod. At hindi kayo sigurado, di ba? Kung successful. Minsan, di ba, sabi mo sa akin, na siguro sabi namin ni George, at least buhay si Sancho. Ganun na lang, ganito na lang. Huwag na natin pa-fuse. Pwede na to. Ang sabi daw ni Sancho, Ma, can you allow God to be now in custody? Bigay mo ko sa kanya. Tama ba yun na pag ako'y namatay, kasama ko siya. Pag ako'y nabuhay, kasama ko kayo. Pero may kasama ko. O sino mas matalino? Yung anak o yung magulang? Siyempre tayo. Alam niyo sana, pag alis natin dito, huwag niyong kaawaan si Sancho. Marahil kaawaan niyo ang inyong anak na walang kapansanan, pero hindi kilala ng Diyos sa loob, walang lakas loob. Alamin natin sino dapat kaawaan. Hindi yung may kapansanan, sapagkat sa ating mga dadalhin, at dahil kasama natin ang Diyos, yan po, surrender. Ang laki ng kanyang buhay, bukas na bukas ang loob. Ito maganda. Hindi tumigil dyan si Jesus, ipinamahagi niya ang pagmamahal ng Ama. Sa kanyang panalangin, Father, first word, 3 oras siya nagdadasal, nagsimula ng Ama, patawarin mo sila. Nagtapos ng Ama, sa iyong mga palad, inihahabilin ko ang aking kaluluwa. 3 oras, isa lang ang salita, Ama. And so when the disciples asked Jesus, Lord, teach us how to pray, sabi niya, say, Father, Ama. Yon ang tunay na dasal. Actually, holy be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done. Surrender doesn't mean wala na akong magagawa. Ganito na talaga. Forced to good. Hindi. Sabi ni Sancho, meron siyang nagawa. In-offer niya ang sufferings niya for the souls in purgatory. Nag-alay pa rin siya. Yun ang pinakaloob ng bawat tao. Bawat isa sa inyo, hindi tayo tao lamang. Kaya nga naging tao ang Diyos na ating anak. Ang anak ng Diyos naging tao para ipamulat sa atin kung sino ang tao. Anak ka ng Diyos. Anak ka ng Diyos. Kaya mo. Hindi sa sarili mo, kundi kaya mo kasi binigyan ka niya ng parehong puso, damdamin, alang-alang sa iba. Kung iindahin lang ni Sancho ang kanyang kondisyon, matagal na nagwala yan. Pero inisip din niya, hindi lang siya ang may kapansanan. Hindi lang siya ang nabibigatan. Ang dami po. Imagine na lang isang staff member namin, 6 na kamag-anak ng tatay niya, pumunta sa kanilang bahay sa Pandan, Catanduanes, kasi inubos ni Pepito. Anong klaseng Pepito yan? Sobrang pito. 6. Uuwi ngayong gabi ang staff member namin. Dala sa kanyang pitaka, pumili siya ng 2 generator kasi wala daw kuryente for the next 2 months. Maalwan sa Maynila, okay ang buhay dito. Hindi siya nagdala ng pera. Hindi siya nagdala ng ayuda. Nagdala siya ng panliwanag. Parang iba magkaroon ng panimula. Kaya mga kapatid, sabi ni Father Arupe, Sang Jesuita, nothing is more practical than finding God and falling in love in a quite absolute way. Final absolute way. What you are in love with, what seizes your imagination, will affect everything. Kung mahal na mahal mo yung Hermes na yon, na nasa kaparate, nako, ilang araw, ilang buwan, ilang taon ka, maghahanap buhay para makita mo si Gucci at Hermes na yan. It will decide what will you get out of bed. In the morning, what you will do with your evenings. How you will spend your weekends. Dahil kay Hermes na yan? Dahil kay Gucci? Hindi ba aksaya? Eh kung ang Diyos yan, what will you read? Whom you know, what breaks your heart? And what will amaze you with joy and gratitude? Fall in love, stay in love. It will decide everything. Bakit mga kapatid? Kailanman ako pumanaw, kayo, anong oras yun, hindi ko alam. Maging si Sancho, hindi rin niya alam. Nagtataka siya, ang mga magulang niya. It's been the longest time. May kilala ko, isang Axel, na siguro mga 10 years ago, had yours, and died at the age of 9. May kapatid siya ngayon, si Angel, is now at the age of 11. Same condition. Walang Shriners children. Pero hopefully mapakilala ang stand for SMA. Hindi lang siya nag-iisa. Pero when you fall in love with God, maging buhay ka, at lalo na pag ikaw ay namatay, you will fall anyway in His hands. Alam nyo, bakit ang mga bata ay kayang makatulog? Alam niyo bakit? Kailan sila makatulog? Pagkatapos ng hele-hele, sigurado sila, hindi sila mahuhulog. And they will just fall asleep kasi sure sila, hindi sila bibitawan. Hindi kayo bibitawan ng Diyos. That's when you stop praying because you have surrendered. And all your prayer is, your will be done.